Hey, Dr. Kunz here. Welcome back to the Daily Pr1me. Today, I just want to go over the topic, when should you stretch? Notice I said when, and that's because we work with a lot of 30s, 40s, 50-year-olds, and they're trying to stay active, and the reality is physiology takes place. We get stiffer as we get older. There is a very small cohort of people that may not have to do it as often or can kind of get away without doing it nearly as much, and I'm really kind of talking about the women who were predominantly gymnasts when they were really young and they worked really hard in flexibility. So I see a certain amount of people, even in their 60s or 70s, who are crazy flexible when they're younger and they're still pretty mobile. But even then, they could probably benefit from it. So really the topic gets back to when should we be stretching? So I was actually in a pretty cool research study in my graduate years, and we were particularly looking over the shoulder. And we wanted to kind of see if we did an exercise, so in this case it was we were lying on our side and working a rotator cuff, working the back of the shoulder muscles. So if we worked those muscles, we wanted to know when were they actually the tightest. Was it maybe before the workout, during, was it after, was it the day after, a week after, what have you. And we found out some pretty interesting results that, you know, when you do the workout, in this case I was shortening my rotator cuff, which does external rotation. So even though they were noticeably tighter, and we would measure it by going into internal rotation, even though they were noticeably tighter immediately following the exercise, it wasn't until about 20, 40, even 48 hours afterwards, where instead of having that full range of motion with the rotator cuff, would you see a little bit more of a tightness. So that leads me to believe that you guys are probably actually better off stretching about a day after you work out that muscle group. So if it's back, or like the lats, the muscles on the side, and they're really tight and they get tight on you, you could definitely probably do it a day after you do your workout. Now you might find that certain muscle groups for you are recalcitrant, meaning no matter what you do, they continue to be tight. There's probably some level of justice to be had where you could do it every day. And there also is different types of stretching, whether it's like passive stretching where you just hold it. There's different types of active stretching. There's even kind of forms of dynamic, a little bit more dynamic and flows. And there's even forms of ballistic. So that's probably a whole other topic. I'm sure we could go into that at some point. But generally speaking, guys, the day after you work out is probably one of the best times to stretch that muscle group. I tend to not like passive stretching prior to working out. I tend to like using actually more elastic bands and kind of working on facilitating the muscles and getting your muscles firing rather than like the old school passive stretches. I don't mind doing some of those old school passive stretches or stretching in general after you work out is a pretty good cool down. I found though that, like, let's say it's the pecs, I worked out the chest that day. I'm working those muscles so hard that I'm not even going to be able to stretch it out into a point that's going to probably improve range of motion. If anything, it's going to help just get the blood flow and help with recovery. But if I really want to help improve the myofascial quality, the length of that muscle, I'm probably better off doing that a full day after. So anyways, that's just a little tidbit on when you should stretch. It's a pretty complicated topic, but hope that was helpful. And thank you for all the continued comments and questions that you guys keep sending me. You can continue to send that to me, whatever platform we're on. Just shoot me a message and add it into the Daily Pr1me. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.